You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Playing House After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Playing House After Show.
Hey there, Playing House fans. Welcome to the Playing House After Show here at AFTERBUZZ TV. Oh yeah, let that sink in.
That's nice.
Oh, Kenny. Oh, Kenny.
So we're here at AFTERBUZZ TV. We're talking about season 1, episodes 1 and 2. A little unorthodox. We're doing a combo episode tonight, but from here on out, it'll be 1 for 1. I'm Matt Lieberman, and joining me on the panel all season long, fantastic and talented Mr. Patrick Fisackerly is here.
Hi, that's me.
And the fantastic and talented Carrie Long is here.
Thank you so much.
You're
Hello.
so welcome. Chelsea Earlywine will be joining us later on in the season. Can't wait to see her. She was on the Cougar Town show with me. Now, before we get started, and I'm so excited to talk about this show. I'm a huge fan. I think we all are huge fans of Lennon and Jess. BFF is one of my favorite sitcoms of the last few years. I was really bummed when it got cut short. But before we jump in, I want to tell you about another show called Chasing Maria Menounos. Now, for those of you who maybe have never listened to an AfterBuzz TV podcast before, Maria Menounos and Kevin Undergaro are our founders. We love them dearly. They set up this network. They've given us all a home to talk about our favorite shows. And they also have a show, a reality series on Oxygen called Chasing Maria Menounos. It's about their life. It's actually really fantastic. It's a very intimate look at their relationship, at Maria's career, at the stresses in being a host and being a producer and having something like AfterBuzz. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff about AfterBuzz on the show. We actually just had a big AfterBuzz-themed episode, which, if you are a big AfterBuzz fan, you can watch it and find all your favorite AfterBuzzers are going to be in that episode. But, just check out the show. It helps us out. It helps us keep the doors open, helps us keep the lights on. We offer all of these shows for free, and to support that show is to support us. So watch it on Oxygen Tuesdays at 10 p.m., or you can find it on iTunes or Amazon. So with that out of the way, let's talk Playing House. How did you like it?
It was great.
Yeah.
So good.
It was amazing.
Yeah. It's so crazy. It's been so long since I've seen these two on television together, and it feels like we never left.
Never did. And did you see the opening? How they took they did this great online interview, and then they put that into their intro.
No.
Yeah, it's this great interview. It's online. I should send it to you. It's amazing. I love it, and they included it right into there.
Oh, that's great.
In the intro. The show
well,
intro.
let's talk about the first episode.
Sure.
So, Jess plays Emma, who I feel like their characters are kind of similar in terms of type to BFF. They didn't stray far.
Except the husband of Lennon in this one is the one that left.
Right.
It wasn't in BFF, it was Jess's husband that left or something like that?
Exactly.
Right, yeah.
But instead of a husband, Emma is married to her job. She's out in Shanghai. She's working with these very intense Asian businessmen. She's trying to convince them to open this casino, and she's trying to rush out of this meeting to get to Maggie's baby shower. It's the one thing that she's asked for, the only time off she's asked for in the 3 years that she's worked for them. And they're being real dicks about it. She's rushing out the door. And I love this gag where the guy keeps handing her Chinese scrolls. And it's like a normal one, and then like a super big one, and then a teeny tiny one, a Chinese scroll nano. She rushes off. I really love I really love these characters. I love them. They feel so real. And I know, at the very least from BFF, how they wrote the scripts.
It's the same too. I saw an interview with them this morning.
Yeah, where
on the Today Show.
They improvise conversations and record them, and then they play it back, and they take the things that they like and they put it into the script, and then allow themselves to be free on the day to continue to play with it. And what it offers is one of the most realistic female friendships I think I've ever seen depicted.
Absolutely. That's what I love. It's like you're either an Emma or you're a Maggie. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm so Emma. It's like, remember back when people used to watch Sex and the City and they were one of them, but no, now it's the new. It's Emma or Maggie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, I'd like to think that I'm a Maggie, but honestly, I'm way too Emma. I'm too driven, and I've run roughshod over some people. I don't feel great about it. I think I'm less in denial than she is, though.
Yes. Yeah, she absolutely, and that's what's the best part of it, that Emma has no idea how she is, so it's going to be nice to see that all just, like, be a can of worms and go off the rails.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Patrick? How are you?
Well, I was really mulling this over. I think I might be a Maggie.
Yeah.
In this case.
Be proud. Be Maggie and proud, man.
You know what? I'm a very proud Maggie. And it not only because I'm 8 months pregnant, which
you wear it well.
You're just glowing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's what you wear. You know, it's a lot of how you wear that. So, yeah, I love that the dynamic is so realistic because they are friends and they are such good actors. So you can just feel that it's not a faked dynamic at all.
Yeah.
It's completely in the moment. It almost
feels effortless.
It felt to me like if Robert Altman made a sitcom, like with all of the overlapping dialogue and what are you rolling your eyes for?
No, I'm not rolling my eyes. I'm like, well, first of all, MASH is based on the Robert Altman film.
But that's not not Altman-like.
I'm thinking about
it had a laugh track.
I'm thinking about the Altman sitcom that we never got and how much I would love it if it was like a Norman Lear and Robert Altman co-joint.
Absolutely.
I'd be so down with that. But, you know, Emma arrives back in her hometown. She's not crazy about being there. She doesn't want to see how things have changed. She hates small town life. And honestly, I think half the reason why she wants to get away so badly is because of the kind of like trail of bad memories that she left in her wake.
Yeah, she's got to face it. You got to go back. That's what sucks about going back to a small town.
And of course, the first thing that she comes back to is her ex-boyfriend, Mark.
Who she lost her virginity to.
Yeah.
As she's fondling her best friend's bosoms.
That was amazing. Every pregnant, like, I'm always like, let me just touch him. And they're like, just feel him.
Are you?
Or, yeah.
Every pregnant woman?
I can tell you I've never asked a pregnant woman.
Because you're a dude.
Question.
It's a chick thing. Like, if your girlfriend gets fake boobs, or she's pregnant, they're like, look at my boobs. They're amazing. They're like, you got to see these. And, like, I have seen more boobs than probably you guys combined. I have seen a lot of boobs, and they are plump because they are.
I'm not keeping a tally personally.
Well, I
think you may win out even just because of like, you know, locker room stuff. I feel like there's no way I could have seen as many boobs in person as a woman.
I did see a lot
have.
of boobs growing up, but this is like
you're talking about adult boobs.
Adult boobs. It really like after like that drinking age, they become adult boobies.
Yeah. Okay.
They change
Wait, you're
shapes,
saying
they
21 is when it's an adult boobie
it's
as opposed to an 18?
If it's a legal boobie, I can touch it and see it.
They go from perky to normal to sad.
They get
no
their
such
own
thing as a
personality.
sad boob.
You're
no
wrong.
Such thing.
You're wrong.
No such
you
thing.
haven't seen enough boobs if you've never seen
Clearly.
a sad one.
I've seen sad boobies. I've seen a lot of boobies.
I think that breasts are beautiful and they're part of a person.
You don't need to talk about them like they're listening. The boobs aren't listening.
Listen,
they're gonna whisper.
Boob listeners out there.
The NBBCP.
NDCP, Matt. Come on.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a fist pound for that respect. That's really funny.
Yeah.
So, you know, Mark isn't exactly thrilled to see her, and she kind of puts her foot in her mouth almost immediately.
Brilliant.
When he mentions that he's married, and she starts making fun of his wife. Poor Bird Bones, who we're going to see a lot of in the second half of this episode.
I was so happy that they immediately made her a character.
Right. Capitalize on it.
Because it was basically a throwaway gag in the pilot, and the whole second episode's about it.
It's great.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to
that.
You better believe we'll get to that.
We'll get to it.
Did you think we weren't going to get to it? Because we will.
We definitely will get to it.
Okay. So, Maggie brings Emma back to her home, and her husband emerges seeming like a perfectly normal, fine, good dude.
That's your first red flag.
Yeah.
With every dude.
Yeah, with every dude.
If they're normal, they're not.
If they're normal, they're not. You have to be at least a little quirky. I'm proud that I wear my quirk on my sleeves, and I feel
I
like,
noticed that. That's a lot of quirk over there.
I
It's a
know.
choice.
I'm
Okay.
fairly guileless, so there's not really any way to hide anything. I'm just kind of a doof, and I feel like on some level, every woman is looking for their doof. I don't know that that's true, but I remember growing up, that's what the parents would always tell me. It was like, oh, you're going to be the guy that they want to marry in like 20 years.
But
I'm
they
like,
don't.
that doesn't help me now.
It's a sad thing to hear.
You're who they go to after the first marriage just bombs out.
Right? Because they marry the bad
right.
boy.
You're going to be a really great
Right.
second
Or you'll be
husband.
an amazing rebound.
I will be an amazing second husband. You're right. So they go into the house and they start setting up for the baby shower. We meet Maggie's brother Zach, played by Zach Woods.
Love.
Easy to remember the character name. I was very excited
Right?
about that.
Well, I'm sure that they wrote this character for him. I
Sure.
believe they were all on Sentimental Lady and improv team together
Yes.
in New York, the three of them.
Yeah. And they also do soundtrack together at UCB.
Right. So they're very close. I'm really impressed that Zach Woods is able to pull off two series at the same time because he's also doing Silicon Valley. Keegan-Michael Key also doing Key and Peele. To have them on two shows is really a gift for comedy fans.
Yeah, well, when you're on those cable shows, when you're not doing 22 episodes and you're doing like 10, 12 or something, you can do that.
Yeah. So we're setting up this baby shower, and Zach assures Emma that this slideshow that he set up will be able to play over the Apple TV.
Once he Ken Burns it.
I love
Yeah.
it. Ken Burns makes everything amazing.
It's
If
true.
we could Ken Burn my life, that'd be great.
I would love that. We do a slow zoom in a
Right.
diagonal fashion on
Carrie
his
walked
face.
into the
Gentle fade.
AfterBuzz studio that day.
Yeah.
Just finished watching Playing House.
Is that Ken Burns' voice?
No,
It
it's
is
not.
if I do it.
Well, Ken Burns doesn't actually do any of the voices on the documentaries. It's always like
Right, an interview?
celebrities. So it's like Philip Seymour Hoffman is playing you.
Well, not anymore.
Not anymore. The late Philip Seymour Hoffman.
That's your pull? That's your pull?
Yes, that is my pull because I saw Philip Seymour Hoffman in a Ken Burns documentary, and I'll never forget it.
Anyone alive, it could have been.
Nope, it couldn't have. And it could have been anyone female, but it wasn't. It was.
I get that all the
Philip
time. People are
Seymour.
like, "Yeah, you remind me of this guy I once knew." What?
Philip Seymour
It's
Hoffman.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
I get that a lot. It's
You have a
clearly,
thing.
We look. It's my
right.
life is over.
Okay, so I know I've had issues with my Apple TV in the past, and they are not safe from it. Bruce's mother shows up, and she plays this very funny game where they all have to stick their faces in these poopy diapers, except the poop is a chocolate bar,
That's so
and they got to
good.
guess.
Is this real? Is this a thing people
No,
do?
I've never been to a single baby shower that was
Oh,
enjoyable.
we're getting a nod.
Oh,
We're
it
getting a
is?
nod.
That's a
It is a
thing?
real
I need
thing
to be
people do.
invited
with
to these.
Milky Ways and
Really?
Snickers. They melt the chocolate and
You
they
just
put it in the diaper. And
You
then
get right on in there and just and get all up in
Well,
that chocolate.
I don't because
Right.
that's just not my favorite thing
you don't like
do.
to put your face.
Not
in
a big
the
fan
food.
of
No.
not
No.
a chocolate.
But I've seen people get very competitive because they want to win that prize.
I'd
and
be
the
all up in it.
prize
I
is
would
nothing.
bury my face in chocolate
It's
to
both
win whatever
scatological
crappy
and
shower
delicious.
party.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan.
It's scalicious.
That's the best. You're going to see a rise in that game at showers. I predict
Oh,
it right now.
100%. I think anyone exposed to that
Who
is gonna
needs a
want it at
shower?
their-
Guys, what are you doing after
Guys,
this?
Yeah.
I've got diapers. You've got chocolate.
Oh,
This
You've
is-
got a microwave.
I guess that's true, yeah. Why do you have so many diapers, Patrick?
yeah.
Guys, I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, that's fair. Thank you,
I pee
Roya.
my pants.
Roya Taheri, our wonderful engineer. Thank you for your input. So we start our slideshow, and unfortunately, the stream gets hijacked
Oh, boy.
by Bruce's computer, where he is Skyping with a filthy German woman who likes putting things up her butt. Yeah. He's been having this secret little webcam relationship where he watches her put things up her butt, he puts things up his butt.
It's all about
they
sharing,
cry, they
right.
laugh, you know.
He prefers Germans because of their husky nature.
There's,
Yes, the Germans.
there's so many great lines in this episode.
Oh my God. What was the one? My Butt by Storm, like all the diarrhea. There's so much
Oh, yeah.
diarrhea in the show.
Capital D.
Capital
D. Yeah, you
Love
don't
it.
tell, you don't broadcast that you got capital D going on. But yeah, it took Butt by storm. All the sauces. That's the problem
great. It's so
with
quotable.
Asian food. There's all the sauces you start
They don't know
mixing
if
them,
it's sweet, if it's sour.
and
You
your
gotta
body
know.
gets tricked, and it just starts just pooping everywhere.
We're talking about poop a lot.
Yes. What a broadcast. What a podcast. This is free.
Mom and
It's
Dad,
free.
I'm doing it.
This is showbiz.
So, obviously, a scarring experience for Maggie and for everyone who saw it. He's lying. He's saying that he's working on the crib that she was working on at 3 o'clock in the morning, and he wasn't doing it. He was doing this webcam thing. So she goes out to hide in the little playhouse out back.
Beautiful little playhouse.
Oh my! It looked just like the real house.
Yes, it did.
I had a kid house like that.
You
Mostly
did?
just we had extra paint, so it got painted the same color. But I'd like to think that it was intentional.
Is that what it's for?
like I
The
have a
child? Is
Yeah.
that-
Well, it's her
to be.
childhood home.
Oh,
So
I missed that part.
it's still left over from when she was a kid, so it's her safe place that is also home to a family of raccoons.
Right.
And that's good. That's like your own petting zoo for the child to be.
Yeah.
Sure, you got to have a
Good.
pet for the child.
Right.
Yeah. As
Might
long
as
as
well
it
be.
doesn't make a.
I can't do it. Can any of us do it? Roll call.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was fun for the listeners.
Yes, it was. They all enjoyed the high-pitched shrieking noises. So they
Are in. Wait, they're not in the house yet. Are they in the
I
house?
love it.
They're in the house
No,
now.
they're in this
They're
little.
in the
They're in
house.
this little house. They get chased out by the raccoons.
Brilliant.
And Maggie's afraid. She doesn't know what to do with herself. It's a bad situation. She knew that things were bad in her marriage for a while, but she's not quite ready to like call it quits. However, I want to call her Jess so
You've
badly.
done such a great job so
I know.
far. I want to let you
Emma.
know I'm very impressed.
Thank you. Emma loses her job. She wakes up too late to do her presentation properly. In the middle of the night, she falls asleep while the president of the company is telling this very boring story that's full of honor and everything. And yeah.
Honor bulls me.
So she's jobless potentially. So she sees an opportunity to help out a friend. She's like, what if I stay and raise this baby with you? Premise achieved.
It's amazing. Every woman wants a wife. This is like seriously dream come true.
Really?
Well,
Every woman wants a wife.
the thing that I loved about this is that the husband was still there.
Yeah.
And that it wasn't just like, because clearly that's the setup of the whole show.
Right.
But the show was like, oh, we're going to put a little twist in it. And the husband's, now she's quit her job and has nowhere to stay because the husband isn't leaving.
Right.
Which I thought was great.
Right, which of course leads to a blow up between the two of them because, you know, what are you doing, girl? This man obviously isn't right for you. He obviously isn't in love with you anymore. You know, you deserve better. Why would you stay with him?
Because
Exactly.
we're self-destructive creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Women are wonderful. I think they make
Thank you,
great
Patrick.
decisions.
Thank you,
Yes.
Patrick.
We love our female listeners.
And
And
they
viewers.
yes they do. So in the midst of all this, Mark lets Emma have it over the fact that she just abandons people all the time and she leaves a trail of crap in her wake, not because of the big D, but because
diapers.
no,
This is not literal crap for once.
right, but the other big D, denial.
Right.
Whoa,
And I
whoa.
wonder if he still has feelings for that's got to come up, right? Like
Right?
everyone's still denying
Well, I don't know if he still has feelings,
know.
but I imagine
unfinished
that
business.
yes, that their
Yes.
breakup
Has to be.
There, it can't be painted as like he just dumped her. She definitely did
Oh,
something.
she crushed him. She destroyed him. Mm-hmm. Destroyed him.
And he had to build himself back up with bird bones.
That's right. And now he's an officer, so he's fancy.
He's an officer of the law.
Of the law. Ladies, is there a problem over here? I love too that she's sitting on the porch and everyone thinks it's a man.
Yeah.
Because
I
of
think-
her shoulders.
Because of her broad
Hey,
shoulders.
ease up on broad-shouldered women, all right?
Yeah.
And then they did the
Yeah.
callback gag when she was out in the street with the old lady, right?
Looks
Mrs.
great.
Johansson, yeah.
I love her.
She's fantastic. We got to see Jerry Bedknob really quickly,
Fantastic, yep.
who will be playing the Pakistani owner of that store. Hopefully he comes back. I really enjoy seeing him pop up in places. And, Maggie gets Mark to stop Emma on the way to the airport. And, they are able to kiss and make up. Well,
It's a romantic comedy.
Not kiss. Not kiss and make up
No.
because...
Zach got in there.
Right,
He
Zach got in there and he
Right.
got himself some, and she was
Yeah.
not happy about it.
Not yet.
Not yet. Maybe
Get
later.
enough
Do we
liquor
think
in
some seeds were
anyone.
planted?
Oh my gosh!
I don't know. She's too good for him, no matter how chunky his
But
thighs are.
I know. He's building them.
Yeah.
His cardio from trumpet playing.
Exactly.
Exquisite.
All right. Well, that kind of wraps up the first episode. I want to talk really quickly about iTunes before we jump into the second one. Folks, thank you for downloading or streaming this podcast. It means a lot to all of us here in the room and everyone here at AfterBuzz. We put out over 70 hours of free content a week. It's a crazy, staggering amount of content, and we deeply appreciate your support. We love doing it. But what can you do in exchange for all this free stuff that we're just giving away? I'll tell you. Go to iTunes, rate, review the show. It matters so, so much, and I'll tell you why. It doesn't just make us feel great about ourselves, which I'll tell you what, it does. It's the highlight of anyone's day. But it is the only way that our shows are tracked on iTunes. It's the only way that we get any kind of ratings, and it's the only way that we know that we're doing our jobs well. We want to know that we're connecting with you, that we're giving you the Playing House podcast that you deserve. So write us a little note. Give us a 5-star rating, and it really helps us get sponsors, which is the only reason that we're able to be here at all. We need sponsors. We need your help to get them. So any shows that you listen to, go rate and review. Just take a second. Doesn't cost you a dime. Doesn't even have to be real important words. I've received like over 5 reviews that are just gibberish, and I loved them. And they took a second to make. So please, please, please rate, review the show. You won't regret it. And we'll read it here on the program.
Even if it's gibberish.
Even if it's
Especially if it's gibberish.
Yes, I'll do my level best to read your gibberish with the utmost sincerity and seriousness. Okay. So, the second episode I loved even more than the first. First of all, I think that the word bang or to bang or bangin' is the funniest word potentially, bless you, in the English dictionary.
Thank you.
You lead into it, you bang it. And I love this opening scene where they're spying on Bird Bones and Mark at the hardware store.
Amazing.
Do any of you remember her real name?
Bird
Tina?
Bones.
It is Tina.
Is it?
It is
I
Tina.
remembered.
It's Tina with a Jewish last name. I can say that because I have a Jewish last name. Because I'm also a Jewish first name. I'm a Jewish man. It's allowed. Politics. In any
You can
case.
say whatever you want.
Yeah.
you
But
say,
how
sir.
great a husband is Mark,
Aw.
where
Sure.
she's insecure about the size of her hands versus this teeny tiny knob. And he's like, honey, we're going to find you the knob of your dreams until you feel secure pulling it open and pushing it closed. And I'm like, oh, Mark.
I got hot.
I
Right?
have a little crush on Keegan right now.
Right?
Doesn't.
The man is first of all, handsome, funny,
Tall.
tall.
Taller than me.
Yeah.
Oh, is he?
Right. Oh,
Is he
yeah.
that tall?
He makes me look like a woman as opposed to looking like a buxom
You
male.
I think-
make me look exactly.
You know what? I walked by him on the street one time.
Like Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yes.
called a
Compare me to
callback.
Mormon, please. My life is over.
Oh, Carrie, we only just met, and you already have a grievance.
Is it because I've seen more boobies?
Yes.
Call back. Hey, you're
Hey,
welcome.
we're doing the callbacks.
Yes. So, in any case, the smoke detector that they were shopping
Fabulous.
for goes off, and they're totally busted. Totes bust. And
Of course.
Jess, in a flash of just manic panic, she says, we should all have brunch together. Wouldn't that be nice? And Mark's like, no, that would be a terrible idea. I don't really want to say why right now, but that's a terrible idea. We don't want to do that. But of course,
No.
Tina is
Yes.
like, no, that is a great idea. Let's go and do, gang. And of course, Emma has no recollection of this being her idea when they actually show up for this brunch at their lovely home, which, I mean,
Oh, it's banging.
it is a banging. It's a banging.
It be banging.
It be banging. It be banging.
It was really nice.
It does be banging.
It does.
I liked that bathroom a lot.
Super nice.
Yes. The whole house is just gorgeous. The kitchen island, the organization. I'm just like, yes, please.
The junk drawer, I was like, please. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Oh, it's perfectly organized. It was like
Yeah.
a petri dish for junk.
Just dissolve me and pour me all over
I
this
love it.
house. I just want to be all over every nook and cranny. This was just like HGTV porn.
Oh my God, I love HGTV.
Do you, Karen?
I totally understood. When she was like saying HGTV and QVC, these were like dirty words to me. I loved it. I think everyone watching was
This
like,
whole
oh my
episode
God.
made you hot.
Woo! Could
Yeah.
be menopause, early menopause. Either way, I loved it. In the closet, that was exquisite.
Oh, the closet filled with bad stuff was exquisite?
Or the
Yeah.
Or you're turned on by
You
the
like- you
collection
like
of
junk?
stuff.
The collection of
and
stuff.
Cadbury eggs.
That was great. My
Cadbury Scream Eggs. Great. And yeah, and Lennon's like, she knows what I'm talking about.
God. Yeah.
Oh,
I loved it. And the pregnancy strength. I have two of my best friends are knocked up right now. Sorry, pregnant with child.
no, they're not.
They're
They're knocked
knocked
up.
up. They're knocked up with numerous.
It's the name of a film. We all know what it
Right.
means.
They're
Right, so
just,
it's
they are
okay.
stuffed full.
They're crazy strong, and they have amazing skin. That I'm just saying that to cover.
Really?
From
Is that-
calling them
is that a
knocked up.
thing?
But don't they? Yeah, it is. You have
Oh
all
yeah,
these hormones.
pregnancy
You're crazy.
skin. It's smooth
So
as
pregnancy-
the baby you're about to birth's bottom.
Right.
So let's recap.
Right.
Pregnancy breasts, waterbed-like.
Yes.
Pregnancy skin, very clear.
Glorious.
Are they waterbed-like? I thought they were described as firm.
I have touched them.
They
can
use
be-
the term
They can be
waterbed-like.
varying degrees. There's a spectrum of pregnancy breasts.
Fascinating.
We'll have to get a real pair in here just for research purposes.
Okay.
If you're pregnant, come on the show.
yeah, come on the show. We'll feel your boobies. We'll give you a rating. This is not that show.
It's not creepy
Not
because
the
they're
show.
volunteering.
It's part of the research.
right, and it came up on the show, so relevance.
Right.
Yep.
It's totally yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
So the awkward problem that these two face is that they invented this very hurtful nickname for poor Tina back in high school, and she never quite escaped it. In fact, it robbed her of her self-esteem and reduced her to kind of a nervous wreck for a while. And it's only Mark's love that has brought her back, which again makes him an even better man.
He's an enabler.
But, that body do be banging. So, she's got that.
Are you bummed out that he's already paired off on the show because he's so great?
I kind of am.
Do you know what I
Kind of,
mean?
yeah.
I kind of want to see at least maybe a possible love interest on the side.
Because I don't think Bird Bones is going anywhere.
No.
She's
I
great.
mean, she could die.
She looked like a
She's
bird.
very brittle.
She's very brittle. Those teddy bears totally broke a bone in
She has
her
a lot of
wrist.
spleen, so I want to see her in her full body.
The teddy
cast.
bear gag, I was thrilled by it. I was ecstatic about the teddy bear gag.
It was nice.
I think my favorite jokes in the show are the ones that I can picture Lennon and Jess improvising. Do you know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
teddy bear thing is like, to me, that's like a perfect like third beat of a scene. I'm sorry, this is a little insidery,
It's okay.
but just like, oh look, and then there are teddy bears, and I'm like, oh yeah, I see what you guys are doing, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
How much of it do you think was scripted? Or they just got into it and they're like, just keep rolling, and then they're like, oh, and they just improvising. They've just gone off script and they've
I feel like they keep it. They keep it. They allow themselves to stray a little bit, or they can rewrite lines on the fly, but the direction of the scene and the progression of the gags remains the same.
Right.
So like it's like the Cadbury Cadbury Scream Egg. Lennon's response of like, this, she knows what I'm talking about. She could have done like 80 different takes
Right.
of different lines, but it's still the same opportunity for a joke. Yeah. I feel like when you're doing a network sitcom, you're on such a tight schedule, you don't really have tons of room to play.
Right.
So I'd be very, very curious to hear from them, what that process is like and whether or not they're able to stay on schedule if things get really tight.
absolutely, I would love to.
Well, the
Especially
show
whole- yeah.
looks great as far as like
Beautiful.
the budget of the show goes.
Yeah.
I thought it looked like a show that could have been on like HBO or anything.
Well, USA
Yeah.
shows they always look very bright, very glossy, and it lends itself well to a sitcom. I haven't gotten a chance to check out their other sitcom, Sirens, yet, but I've heard good things.
Very funny.
Yeah?
Very funny. I saw it. Yeah. Very
good.
funny.
Well,
That's TBS.
yeah. I love that we have these
Characters
two
welcome.
in bathrobes for the vast majority.
With their names on there.
Yeah, with the Mark and Tina
Cool.
names on them for the vast majority because they get into this shower. And I totally thought when they were in the shower there was going to be some kind of shower intercom.
That's what she
And-
said.
That's when I was like, oh, she's totally listening to all of this.
But instead, no, they just turn on future shower.
Which
Love
is
it.
great because there really isn't such a thing as a shower intercom, right?
No.
Like that's just like a bad writing device in retrospect. But what they did was much better.
It
I
would be
thought.
very convenient. I don't know. If
Yeah.
you're downstairs making breakfast and your spouse is in the shower, you want to
Right.
be able to ask them, "Honey, did you want 2 pancakes or
Right.
4?"
Over easy,
Right.
sunny side up.
Nobody wants
scrambled.
to scream while showering.
Exactly.
Yeah, no. Well, it's
Just
a
doesn't
very
make
fancy
sense.
bathroom. If any
Very.
bathroom is going to have a shower intercom, this
Well,
is the
it
one.
had a
It had a
chandelier.
chandelier.
You two are so in sync. It's terrifying.
We watched it together.
I know. I want to be able to watch it with you guys, but my schedule is all over the place.
He always
You're
has
so
excuses.
busy. You're so busy.
Guys, I'm so busy.
Oh my god.
So, Tina opens her heart to Emma and Maggie, and really is like, I never have had friends, and they're like, well, let's be your friends. Let's do it. Let's have Bloody Marys. You win.
Oh,
And
yes.
she's like, well, I haven't drank since my wedding. And they're like, come on, brunch isn't brunch unless you pour vodka into juice.
That's such a good line, and that's the truth. Like, it's so awkward, and then everyone's like, why don't we just add a touch of booze to this situation? Just a touch, just a smidge, and then we're like, I love you, and it's, and there you go.
Where's waitress?
Are we all drunk now?
Yeah.
Is we all drunk now?
Let's drink a little
Did we get drunk in the past?
Did we ever add juice?
Is it drunk?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sober.
Yeah.
I'm just sobered up.
So they get so chummy and so relaxed that Tina even starts to own Bird Bones for a hot second. She owns it and she starts doing an impression, and the girls are cracking up, and Emma just can't resist taking credit for it. Now that she thinks that it's okay that she ruined this woman's life.
Never.
Yeah.
And I
Never
loved
okay.
watching sober Maggie in the background, like, no, stop.
Yeah.
You can't.
It's
It's not
I
the
can't look
time.
away. No.
Exactly. But they decide to help her turn her life around. They see her secret shame closet and they're like, we're going to help you
After she
reorganize
does her
it.
bird-like cry.
Yeah.
And she was wearing pink. She was very flamingo-like.
Is her name Lindsay Sloan? Am I pulling that?
You're absolutely
I
right.
did not look it up. I just know her name.
So
Good
Thankfully.
man.
Her performance, she did so many subtle bird things
loved.
that I thought was just brilliant. I thought she was like, she got the gold star for the episode as far as I'm concerned.
It really, really stellar. And I loved when they're like, okay, so you have 20 microwavable omelet makers. How many do you want to give away? One.
That's the truth. I just held my friend
Keep-
cleaner.
keep 19. Keep 19.
And then I love how she's like, if I can't have them, no one can.
Yeah. That's very rude. There's a
What you got over
there's
there?
a big mosquito
Oh, no.
flying around.
Oh no!
And I'm being a huge jerk by trying to kill it.
No,
but it's
please.
okay.
It's not a raccoon.
So they're able to help her out a bit before they leave. Meanwhile, though, Mark has been dealing with a situation of his own in the form of Joffrey, spelled just like Joffrey from Game of Thrones. I feel like that's deliberate.
Probably.
Because he's a little dick. And he refuses to admit that he purloined his neighbor's lawn gnomes, who all have their own names and personalities and functions.
Was it Hocus and Pocus?
Hocus and Pocus. They're not
I
speaking
like
right
that.
now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're brothers.
And a
they're
bunch of
fighting.
other names in Charles.
Exactly.
Right.
I enjoyed the gnomes' performance. I thought they were very spot on.
They were very gnome-like.
They were very believable.
Very gnome.
I liked the veterinarian
very
gnome with
gnomey.
the cat in the basket or
Yeah,
with
in a
He was a
wheelbarrow.
veterinarian.
Yeah.
Who knew?
So I love this sequence because Keegan's scene with Joffrey where he's telling him, like, you're a bozo, you're just this guy who, doesn't care about anybody, doesn't care about the consequences, where, he tries to use the divorce as an excuse, and he's like, oh yeah, because you're the only kid whose parents are getting divorced, not like half of America.
And this is the same kid from the first episode, right?
Yeah.
That they talked about?
Yeah.
I love that. It's like, to me, it felt like Springfield or Mayberry or something. Like
They're building a world.
For sure, yeah.
And it's great. Yeah, I always appreciate seeing world building on a comedy because you don't have to necessarily.
No, especially not this early on.
Right.
Right.
But a commitment to it this early on means that we're going to get more of these people coming back. We really get to enjoy the people of this town, and it's a very smart move to do it this early because you can then generate more, large scale stories
Yes.
for the
Sure.
second season if you build up these characters in the first
I
season.
mean, if you look at a show like Parks and Recreation, like so much of that show is the world that they build, and like it's a giant sandbox they can play in.
Exactly. The town is as much a character as any of the
just like New York with the Sex and the City girls.
Oh my God! Look at
it's just like a character in the show.
Oh, Maggie.
Did you see the poster for They Came Together, the new David Wayne movie? With
No, I haven't seen
Amy
the
Poehler?
poster. I saw the trailer.
Okay, at the very, very bottom in small print, it says, New York plays such a large part in this movie that it's basically another character in the movie. So that just made me think of that. But, yeah, he's able to, get under Joffrey's skin, at least for a little bit, and convince him, like, you know what, don't screw with this guy, man. It's all going to come back on you someday. Tell me where these stupid gnomes are so we can get on with our day. And he had taken them out to the driving range at the 100-yard mark, and they're all lined up in a firing squad ready to be killed. And this guy just can't take it. And he runs out onto the driving range. He gets smacked upside the head with a golf ball, and Joffrey goes to save him.
Oh, that was precious.
Very precious. And Mark is able to save these gnomes. Joffrey drives away in a golf cart just after he redeemed himself. He's a dick again. And
I feel that we'll be seeing more of him.
Yeah, and Mark is awarded with a gnome only to break another. Such a shame.
Really was. And I
Yes.
think which one wasn't Hocus or Pocus? Thank goodness, because they really were the two strongest gnomes.
Yeah, that's true.
Was it Clesius?
It might have been Clesius.
I had to say it like that because I wasn't sure how to pronounce it.
Sure.
So I mumbled it.
I'm just thrilled that you remember more than
Thank
Hocus
you.
and Pocus.
I'm just thrilled that Hocus and Pocus have an opportunity to mend fences and be brothers again.
Thank you. Right?
I
They
really
wouldn't even
hope, and I'm
face
very
each
serious
other.
about this. I hope episode 3 is entirely about Hocus and Pocus.
I
And
hope they pop
Well,
up
here,
again.
let's talk about that in predictions.
awesome.
Okay.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Right?
That's nice.
Pretty fancy. It's like apothecary jars to store your splints in.
Call back.
Yeah. So
that made me laugh.
folks,
out
what do
loud.
we think is coming this season? What do we think is happening next episode? I mean, I assume we're gonna have a birth before the end of the season.
I think it's going to be the
Sure.
final
The
episode.
final episode is the birth?
Episode.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Which would mean that the entire season is in a month. That takes place over the course of a month because she's 8 months pregnant, right?
Right. So it's, yep. She doesn't look very 8 months though. I'm
I
just
think
saying,
she
you've ever
was.
seen an
I think
8-month
she was
woman?
8 months pregnant for real when they shot that. I
When
believe.
they shot the pilot.
Just the pilot, though. She
Very
would have had the
tight.
baby.
She holds it well.
Right.
She,
She holds it
hasn't dropped yet.
very well. Holds it very well.
Hold the kid in there. Just
Holding it down.
squeeze.
Is that what when you're pregnant you just have to hold it in? Is
Yeah.
that
You're
how it
asking
works?
him like he knows.
It's like a
Tell me,
nine-
Matthew. The last time
9
you had a
months of
child.
that?
It is a 9-month pee.
Kegel. It's just a Kegel
It's
the
a
whole time.
Oh my
9-month pee
goodness.
that you're holding in.
I need to be much more patient with pregnant ladies because I just thought that they
They
were
have pregnancy
hormonal.
strength.
But they're
They will
just you'd have to be strong to
take you
hold a
out.
baby inside of you for 9 months.
Especially once it starts moving. In any case,
Is that why it's kicking? It's trying to
we're
get
gonna
out?
get a birth.
I could do this for hours.
Does anyone think we're gonna see sparks fly between Mark and Jess, or perhaps Zach and Jess?
Zach and
Or
Jess on
Zach
a drunk
and
night.
M. Damn it!
Emma,
I think you're right. I
and
think
alcohol. It'll be a drunken
drunken encounter is
mistake.
certainly a possibility.
They'll keep it a secret, but then it'll come out, and then there has to be a fight somewhere between Maggie and Emma. Has to be.
All right.
And I want to see a Betty White cameo. I demand a Betty White cameo.
Okay.
Well,
Or all the Golden Girls.
BFF was paired with Betty White's Off Their Rockers
See?
when
Right?
it aired on NBC.
So we already got that
We
connection.
demand it. There.
So they know each other time
All
slot
right.
wise.
Okay. All right. Carrie Long, where can the people find you online?
Oh boy, they can find me at Comedia Carrie, or you can go to my website, carrielong.com.
And Patrick.
You can find me on Twitter at Fisackerly. I'm going to spell that because it's a weird name. Fisackerly.
Perfect. I'm having a coughing
You
fit.
all right over there?
Oh no, I'm not.
Do you
well.
want us to talk while you finish?
I've got the big D, I suppose. No.
Oh no!
That's not what's happening. If you want to find me on Twitter, and I imagine that you do, you can find me at Matt Lieberman. That's MattLieberman. You can also go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Matthew D. Lieberman, for all of my AfterBuzz TV, SourceFed nerd videos, and all of my personal stuff, vlogs and stuff. Lots of great stuff coming. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week. Good night.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.